What's going on, guys? I am Toxic Jordan. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be taking down stage 100 here of the new Android Cell Saga EZA. So before we jump in, I wanted to point out something that's kind of unique about this EZA. Something they did for the very first time, I think, is they took these two separate units that are EZAing and they threw them on the same EZA. Like, it's just one EZA event, right? Rather than having two separate ones. I know, I guess technically it isn't the very first time that they've done something like this, because obviously we've had multiple occasions of, like, the Destined Rivals Saga EZAs, so anytime it's a dual Dokkan Fest, Goku and Vegeta. And I guess, even aside from Dokkan Fest, because sometimes there have been banner unit EZAs, right? Like the Tech Kaioken Goku, and then the physical, you know, like Namek Saga outfit Vegeta, who have, or I guess it's the Saiyan Saga outfit Vegeta, because it's from their original fight when they meet in the Saiyan Saga. So yeah, those banner units had one of the Destined Rival Saga EZAs that were, you know, combined. So yeah, they've done that a while for them, and then they've also done it for, like, you know, the various, like, Peppy Gal EZAs or the Heroes EZAs, and then some other random, you know, collections, like culminations of free-to-play units that have EZA'd over time. Not free-to-play units, but, like, banner units, I mean. So yeah, but this is a unique case, because this is the first time where it's not a Goku and Vegeta, and I actually can't remember. Well, I think this was a dual Dokkan Fest when it released initially. But yeah, they've just done it a little bit differently, because it's a Cell and a Goku that are EZAing separately. It's really weird that they put them on the same EZA. But I guess maybe they're just, this is Dokkan's way of acknowledging the, like, vast amount of EZAs that actually exist in game, right? And just kind of being like, well, this is one way we can make it so that the number of them that exist doesn't exponentialize further, you know, by being able to combine when characters EZA, we kind of put them on the same EZA banner, or like EZA event. So I guess for that purpose, I kind of understand why they did that. But the thing that's obviously a huge bummer about it is that you lose a lot of stones, because EZAs are a really, really lucrative way to earn Dragon Stones, just because you get, you know, I think it's something like 33 stones per EZA event cleared, because you get the 30 for the first 30 stages, and then the missions give you the additional, oh, I guess it's 4 stones from the mission. So yeah, 34 stones. So that's basically 34 stones that we're missing out on, because they were combined into the same event, right? So yeah, that's a little bit bummy. We didn't end up missing out on potential orbs or Kais or anything like that, because they still make sure to double up on all those resources that you earn throughout, you know, the first 30 stages of playing the event. But yeah, so that does suck a little bit. So yeah, just wanted to note that before we jump in. So yeah, let's go ahead and run stage 100 here. Maybe we'll do a couple of stages just to show off the team build here. But we are looking for the Android Cell Saga team. And then it looks like Int, let's see, Super Int, and then all physical and STR types are going to be have, like, reduced damage. So you want to avoid using those typings if possible. This is the team build that we're going with. Now, obviously, post-stage 30, it's going to be pretty easy and obvious for you to use the Transforming Cell as your leader. And at this point, you could probably just find him very easily on the friends list prior to stage 30. He will be the de facto, like, best lead for this team. But, you know, prior to him EZAing, there might be, like, a couple of other options that you could use. He wouldn't be... Either way, he's not going to be, like, the worst option. His leader skill alone is kind of going to carry you. I don't think he's bad enough that, like, prior to stage 30, you'll really struggle too hard. You know, if you do decide to use him just for his leader skill alone. I don't think he's going to get you KO'd or anything like that. Especially if you consider the fact that he does have some dodging capability in his kit, even before EZAing, right? So, he still could be a viable leader for you. And then definitely after stage 30, he will be the best option for a lead. After we run the stage a couple of times, we'll switch over to the wiki and we'll take a look at the Android Cell Saga category. And then, you know, just discuss a couple of other options that you might have that are, like, alternate team builds and stuff to this one. But yeah, for the most part, the strongest version of this team is going to be, like, the extreme class, like, cell-focused Android build. That's where all of the strongest, you know, tech units are going to be. Oh yeah, and that's another thing to note about this EZA that's very different. This is actually a first for like a dual Dokkan Fest EZA, where it's two characters at once. You're only fighting one of them. So you start out in the EZA fighting against the Super Saiyan Goku, and then, at like stage 15 or something like that, it switches to the Cell, and then you just remain fighting the Cell all the way until stage 999. So typically the way it works with those EZAs is like you're fighting them both at the same time, but we are not, we're not like dealing with that here. It's just against one enemy. So for me, that's actually a huge W, because I think one of the biggest like kind of irritating factors with the EZAs is the time consumption. And when you're fighting against multiple enemies, oftentimes they take a lot longer to beat. Usually they don't deplete their HP pools by that much, so it does take a lot longer to clear every stage. And sometimes with the more difficult ones, it can be a little bit more tedious to auto them, just having more enemy attacks that are launching out at you, as well as multiple typings that you have to make sure to protect yourself against, right? As opposed to being able to just, handedly focus on tech units here, and make sure everyone has type advantage or whatever. If you had the STR unit around as well, then that might cause a little bit of, kinks in the plan and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a good thing that that's not something we're going to have to deal with here. But yeah, I kind of hope that that's something that they continue to do moving forward. Just to make these EZA stages that much easier to grind, right? Because I remember there are a couple of them back in the day that were just really, really difficult to beat. Some of them where you have to fight like 3 enemies at a time, and they just take so long to take down, right? Okay, so, yeah, that's kind of the gist of the team build. You can see it's pretty easy for me to auto it. It's still very quick up here at stage 100. Obviously, the ace on our team is the Super EZA Perfect Cell here. Basically, my idea of the team build, aside from the leaders here, is just prioritize the Super EZA's Perfect Cell, and then just bring a bunch of support around, right? So you've got this World Tournament Cell, you have this 50% support unit Cell, and then the Cell Juniors here. All of them are just going to be providing a lot of support to the Perfect Cell, and I suppose to the EZA Cell as well. And then we just have the tech androids here for their magnificent and wonderful Ghost Usher ability, which actually works out that, this, aside from being a character that you can use on any given EZA stage, they, coincidentally enough, are the correct typing and the correct category to be able to show out in this EZA, so they are definitely a viable option for you, right? Okay, so yeah, that's basically the build. Let's go ahead and take a look at my friends list here and see what kind of unique builds people might have used. So this one up at the top is kind of funny to me, just because if you notice, we have a couple of characters that are not even on the Android Cell Saga. The 2 Boo characters here. They're still going to be on the leader skill because they're on power absorption, but they're not on the type effective category. So I'm actually kind of curious to see how they might operate in here. But I'm thinking what the idea is here, because you have these 2 special units. Basically, I think the idea is to be able to use the Ghost Usher active with this guy. And then that would mean that if you get lucky of having the androids on a turn with the Int Buhan, the Int Buhan, I imagine, is still going to do a lot of damage, even off of, he's still going to be ripping like 30 million attack stats with crits left and right? So he's probably going to be a good help damage-wise. But then, if he were to get hit, I imagine he would get hit quite hard. So yeah, that would probably be problematic. But if you're able to use the Ghost Usher on a turn that he's around, then you wouldn't have to worry about that kind of thing, right? And then worst comes to worst, with this Int Fat Boo, you do have access to the Revive. So if you do get like an unlucky turn or something, you could just force the Revive with him, and that might work out well for you as well. So yeah, this looks like a kind of a fun team build, but again, still pretty focused around the tech cell here. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. And then basically everyone else moving down kind of is going with the same strat, right? Obviously the new STR cell is a decent option. He is STR type, which is one of the you know, negative typings between STR and physical that you don't really want to use because they don't do damage. So that's why you're seeing a lot more of the AGL cell as the leader. But like this, something like this would work perfectly fine for you. It's just going to take you a little bit longer to get through, because obviously you still do have your defensive capabilities with physical and STR units, but just like this person's team here, like more than half of this team is not going to be doing basically any damage, right? So yeah, you can see their clear time for the stage is a lot higher, having to depend on all these other units that are getting their attacks debuffed like crazy, right? So yeah, there are a couple of superclass options you can see on a team like this. We do have a couple of Saiyans that can be thrown in here, because Android Cell Saga does include a lot of superclass units as well. So technically you could make a build like that, but you just don't have access to quite as good of a build if you are going to be resorting to like the superclass version of things, right? Okay, and then yeah, this is kind of a funny one. It's not even close to the right kind of team build, but I think just the Broly team in general, probably, I'm assuming with the domain up, is going to be strong enough. Oh yeah, I guess the domain buffs Tech Cell as well. Interesting. Because with the Grade 8 Vegeta, he's pretty invincible, like slot 1. This Broly's obviously going to be very invincible turn 1 no matter what. So yeah, this team, it makes sense that could still get you through like stage 30, even though it's not an Android Cell Saga build basically at all. So yeah, interesting stuff. But yeah, lots of similar team builds here. Okay, so let's go ahead and switch over to the wiki real quick, and we will take a look at the entire category. Okay, so as far as units that actually lead the Android Cell Saga category, the main one, again, is going to be the new Easy Aid transforming cell here. But then we also have the Int Perfect Cell, and this was the unit that I used for the first 30 stages. You know, leading up to the point where I could Easy A this guy. I think he is going to be a better pick for you. And then we do also have the Tech Trunks, who is an Android Cell Saga category leader as well, but he is just definitely not as good of a unit, right? But he is Tech type, so that is something that works in his favor. And then you do have the AGL Transforming Trunks. I wouldn't recommend this one, but if you don't have any other Android Cell Saga leaders, then I suppose he could work out as well. And then these three probably not. They're just going to be sub-leads anyway, right? With much lower leader skills. So yeah, as you can see here, if you're to glaze your eyes over and look mainly at the tech units, we are primarily seeing it's like the cell units are the ones you're going to want to be prioritizing. Oh yeah, I suppose this is also an option. But because he's cell first form, you can't use him alongside the AGL cell. So I guess if you don't have this guy and you're not using him on the team, then this would be a suitable replacement. Being extreme tech would be a decent option there as well, right? So yeah, that's basically it for the Android Cell Saga category. I mean, does it get... Yeah, we're starting to get to really old units on the third page. You're probably not going to want to use many of these much older ones. Okay, so I guess before we finish up, we'll take a look at this as well. My little listing of special units specifically for EZAs that can be used in basically any EZA stages. So we'll really quick just breeze through here and see which ones might be viable for this EZA specifically. So we'll start over here with the tech androids. We already talked about them. Obviously, we know that they're going to be a prime pick out of any of the ones here. The tech androids are the ones you're going to want to use the most. So the physical metal cooler, he's on power absorption, so he would be on the leader skill for the transforming cell, but he's not on Android Cell Saga, and he's physical type, so he's not going to be doing any damage. So he'd really only be there for the revive. And if you're going to be trying a revive strategy, I would much prefer, like, suggest, I guess, that you use the Int Boo, or even the new STR cell, right? Because the new STR cell has an like permanent auto revive. In fact, maybe I should add him to this list just because he does have that ability. I think I will do that. Yeah, I'll probably do that after this. But yeah, so the Int Fat Boo would probably be the go-to pick for like a revive character on the team. Okay, so then you have the 7th anniversary LRs and the Tech God Goku, who all three are going to have the 77% damage reduction. This guy won't have it for this EZA because you're not going to be facing off against a Pure Saiyan or a Universe Survival Saga enemy. Or not Universe Survival Saga, is it? Movie bosses. Pure Saiyan or movie bosses. So yeah, you're not going to be able to use him, but obviously they will still be viable for those couple of turns of damage reduction. And then Tech Caulifla is not going to be able to be used for her guaranteed dodge, unfortunately, because you're not facing off against a Pure Saiyan or Universe Survival Saga enemy. But the AGL UI Goku will be able to, right? He can dodge against anything in the game that doesn't cancel dodge. So with that 77% chance to dodge that stacks, could still be a reliable unit. And then remember, he also does have the revive as well. As long as you enter the turn with lower than 70% HP, he could be a really good option for you. So yeah, I have a feeling that maybe I should show this. I might prioritize this in like the next EZA video or something. I'll actually do a run where I use the AGL UI and try to get his revive to happen. But in order to take like incremental damage where you're actually lowering your HP in EZA stages, you're gonna have to use probably some units that are off leader skill and stuff. So like I'm imagining maybe using the 7th anniversary LRs here, they could take some damage at higher stages, and then AGL UI would be able to come through with the revive after that, right? So yeah, that's kind of what these options are looking like. I would say, you know, between the Boo and the tech androids, these are going to be your best two options, but then you could also consider these three here as well. Okay, yeah, so I think that is going to go ahead and finish it up here. Not too much else to mention. They didn't add battle motions yet again for these EZA characters, but it seems like their new pattern of adding the battle motions is going to be more directly linked to like the new Dokkan Fests that release, because obviously the new STR cell got a battle motion, and then they also released kind of randomly a battle motion for Dragon Ball Super Broly. So yeah, kind of weird that that's the way that they're doing these things now. But yeah, I guess like I talked about this in the GT Super Saiyans EZA event because they didn't get their battle motions, and I was bummed about that because then I was thinking, well, the next available time slot for them to get battle motions is either when those characters themselves super EZA in years from now, or when we eventually get a new, you know, Super Saiyan GT setup, like a new Dual Dokkan Fest of that, which again is probably going to be a long time from now, especially because we just got those EZAs, right? So, yeah, that was a bit of a disappointment, but because they have been sprinkling in some random, you know, battle motions for various characters that are completely unrelated to the celebration and stuff, I think it is, you know, less disheartening that they're not keeping up with the trend of giving battle motions to all these characters EZAing. I think it is possible that they'll randomly give battle motions to these type of characters coming up in the future. So we'll have to stay tuned and look forward to that. But yeah, for now, I'm going to leave it here. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the links in the description below. That's going to do it for this one, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.